They think the opioid crisis is a problem. Wait till people start noticing how many drugs people are taking for anxiety and depression. In this video, I'm going to cover some of these ideas. My name is Dr. Story. I've been a chiropractor for over 23 years. I'm going to give you realistic advice based on my experience. When I first started in practice, when we would get new patients in, we'd have them list all the drugs that they're on. And I can't remember a time when at least when I started in practice, when young people, teenagers, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds even, were on anxiety and depression medication. Now, it seems as though every 20-year-old that enters my office, they have a list of drugs that they're taking, and anxiety medication is a very popular one. And this is, I think, a problem. I don't think it's a problem like the opioid addiction, because right now everybody's concerned about opioid addiction. But you know what? I think someday we're going to start talking about this too. And I have some ideas regarding this. Now, I'm not saying you stop the drugs. I'm not saying you don't go to therapy, but I have a lot of patients who come in, they're already on medication, they're already seeing a therapist, and they're still depressed, and they still have anxiety. And it's pretty evident that this is a problem. I have had some patients, though, that have helped themselves, and I'm going to share that information with you. And the idea is that depression and anxiety cannot live in the brain if you're in survival mode and also have fear. Let me repeat that. Depression and anxiety cannot live in the brain if you're in survival mode and have fear. Now, this is nothing new. In fact, there's a great book that I read many years ago by Dean Karnazes, and it's called The Ultramarathon Man, and this was his first book. And he made a comment in this book that I thought was really fascinating. And he said that, and I'm paraphrasing, he said that we have made our lives so comfortable that we've made ourselves miserable. And what he's talking about is we have shoes that are comfortable, we have everything padded around us, we sit in chairs called lazy boys, we have ergonomic chairs, we even have beds that have sleep numbers, and we have soft cushiony pillows. And we've done all these things to create comfort in our lives, but yet we're miserable. So his solution to this was get uncomfortable. Start to embrace certain types of misery, such as long distance running. The idea behind this is that you can find happiness in misery. Now, there's another book, and I don't know where it is. I think it's at my house, from Wim Hof, and he's another guy that kind of says the same thing. And his idea is to submerge yourself in cold water, to take either cold showers or jump. I live near the ocean, so you can just go and jump in the cold ocean. And I'll tell you what, it is fascinating when you jump into the cold water and all of a sudden your brain goes into that survival mode. It's either a fight or flight syndrome. And what ends up happening is when you're in that freezing cold water, your brain doesn't have any time at all to think about what you're depressed about. It doesn't have any time at all to think about whether you have an anxiety attack or not. There is no time whatsoever. You submerge yourself in cold water and you only think of one thing, and that's getting out of that cold water, the survival mode. The other thing is to do something challenging that scares you, something that creates fear in your body. So if you're not familiar with these types of things, the idea would be that if you've never done it before, to do something totally different that you've never done. For example, if you've never done a 5K running event or a race or something like that, you know what? Do it. Just sign up. Before you even think about training, you sign up for that 5K. There's a 5K somewhere within the month in America at any time during the year. So what you do is you sign up for it, and then that fear starts entering your brain, like, holy cow, I might fail, or people may laugh at me, or whatever the case is. And these are real fears. And you know what? This is not a Hallmark channel, my channel anyway. It's not a Hallmark channel, Disney Channel. This is not pat yourself on the back time. You might fail. So you know what happens? That's scary. Maybe you should train for it. So if you can only walk a block, then every day walk a block. Start building up your stamina, because that 5K is going to show up pretty soon. So if you do things like that, you create in your body, you challenge yourself to become, you embrace your fears, and you do things that actually you'd be scared of. And you also do things that would create kind of a survival mode. What happens is, and we can get scientific about it, is all of a sudden your neurology, the stuff in your brain, has chemicals that create this survival mode. All the dopamines and all the serotonins and all these things start to become more balanced. That's the concept behind this. So if you have anxiety and depression, you went to your doctor and they just gave you medication, and you went to a therapist and they gave you medication, and they talk about your past and what bothered you as a child and stuff like that, and you still have depression and you still have anxiety, usually what that equates to is more and stronger drugs and more and stronger therapy. No one is probably going to tell you to jump in cold water. No one is going to tell you all of a sudden, just why don't you try to do the things that actually make you uncomfortable, or do something new that you really are afraid of. This idea, I've had some patients that have done this themselves, and they tell me that it's really changed their life. So I'm just relaying that to you. So what are your opinions about this type of information? Let me know in the comment section below. Give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and share this on social media like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I greatly appreciate it, and I really do hope this video helped you.